What's good, fam? What up? What up? What up? What's happening? Another. Mm-hmm. Could be the LBN, you know. Yeah, man. But no audio for Zach. Are you talking? You are talking. Hello, hello. Can you continue? Hello, hello, hello. I didn't do anything. Okay, 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to change some stuff. I'm not really sure why that is happening. Headphones. Hello, hello. Zach's left. He could have just kapooted his LBN here. Yeah, you're not even coming up. It might just be a simple reset, unfortunately. Nah, like for the whole stream, if they can't hear you. Let's see. Audio. I didn't do much to fix it. Desktop audio default. Desktop audio default.
I'm gonna restart quickly.
How about this? Hold on. Can you talk? Oh no. Does that? I think I just got his audio back. No worries, Zach. Technically. I think he actually just completely froze. Anyways, what's happening, y'all? Just give me 1 second. Let's see if we can get him back in this. Okay, audio is good. Now he's frozen. Okay, so he heard. You guys were able to hear him. Just having some technical difficulties, everyone. Give us 1 second. We're trying to get Zach back in here. If you are in here, drop a like, subscribe. Thank you so much for supporting. I think he should be coming back any second here.
Yo, can you hear me?
I think they can hear. Let us know in the chat if you can hear Zach now. If that's the case, I did nothing. You just had to reset, which kind of sucks.
I think they can hear me now, hopefully.
Okay, they can hear you. All right, awesome. That's great. LBN, shout out to LBN. I mean, if you're in Australia,
oh my God. I'll tell you what, yeah. The people don't know, but we're in Sydney, Australia, and the Wi-Fi is beyond average. And that's a nice way to put it. Yeah. Let's be honest. All right, people, thanks for joining the live stream today. Sorry for those technical difficulties. We've got a PPR ReDraft mock draft on the show today, or on the live stream today. We've got a bunch of people who are from our Discord community. This mock draft filled up in less than a minute today. Insane. We're going to have to push back the start time a little bit.
Yeah, just so you guys can have some
in the future,
some time, the ability to get in some other people, because man, it's rough right now.
It is rough right now. Shout out to the 17 people watching the stream. Appreciate you guys. If you could drop a like for us, and we are going to get started here. We got another subscriber as well. That's awesome. So subscribe if you haven't subscribed.
That's what's up.
All the people who you see on the screen right now, can we go to the mock draft now, Badaki? Show people.
Yeah.
These are all people from our Discord community. They get the links the quickest. If you're in Discord, you get it so quick. In the description of this very video, there is a link, and it actually tells you exactly what to do to sign up to our Discord. It's the solo link, and that will take you directly to our Discord so you can join these in the future. 12-man PPR redraft mock draft, not super flex, just regular one flex, one quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex, no defense, no kicker. So let's go ahead and randomize this. So we randomized 3 times because sleepers randomization isn't actually all that great. So let's go ahead and randomize this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And me and Badaki are back to back again.
You kidding? I'm trying to freaking pull it. I have so many windows open. I'm just trying to clear it out. Where am I? Oh, the 7. That's not terrible. Here we go. Okay.
Hey, shout out to Ahan. He's been commenting like crazy in the chat. He said I liked it and sub. That's love. Drop a like, guys, if you can. There's 17 people watching. When you drop a like, that's such an easy way for you to support us, and it helps us reach more people who love fantasy. Let's build this community together. So drop a like for us and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Okay, let's go ahead and get this bad boy started. C Sox is on the clock. It's not going to be a very hard decision here at the 1.1. There's been a lot of people trying to like create drama around CMC. Don't draft him, guys.
It's coming. I wonder.
Shouldn't be difficult.
I think in the next year or two is going to come to the point where CMC is no longer going to be the 101. I don't know.
That'll be a sad day.
It will be a sad day, and it's going to be like, oh, who's going to be the new guy? But it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, agreed. CMC, Dalvin Cook off the board. Obviously, this draft is post Julio Jones trade, so it's going to be interesting to see where some of those guys land. Where will Julio land in this draft? How about AJ? Will his value go down? What about Ryan Tannehill? He could be a late round guy that people are potentially looking to pick up. Someone said it's going to be a struggle at 10. We'll make it work. Yeah, Jack. 10, I actually don't mind the 10 spot. Kieran said CMC is washed. And Lavi said Trey Sermon. I'm on the clock here, so I should probably pay attention.
You probably should.
Okay, here I am on the clock. And I had to restart my PC, so let me just bring up my rankings right quick. So we've got Saquon off the board, Henry off the board. My next running back, according to my rankings, would be Nick Chubb. So I'm going to grab Nick Chubb here at the 1.6. I'm not really worried about Nick Chubb at all. It's a run-heavy offense, and he is the best running back there. He's going to get at least 15 to 20 touches a game. Eddie said, I did a mock where CMC fell to me at 5. That's insane.
Dang, people really like that.
There should be no disrespect towards CMC this year. I don't see any reason why anyone should be disrespecting CMC.
Yeah.
Okay, Cam Akers at the 1.7. That's surprising.
Yeah,
considering a lot of players still available on the board.
If you think about it, the only other player available was Jonathan Taylor. You know how I feel about JT. Cam Akers currently right now in my redrafts, if I'm reading this correctly, he is my running back 8. So that was the guy that was there for me.
So if he was your running back 8, then there was another guy available, bro.
Yeah, there was, and I'm not going to say who it was, because
he's probably already gone, right?
Maybe or maybe not.
Oh,
we're going to see if he comes back to me.
Happening. Oh, Badaki and his conspiracy theories. All right, Tyreek Hill, Devonta Adams off the board. Jonathan Taylor. Travis Kelce goes in the first round. That's going to be quite common in redraft leagues this year. Not surprising.
Yeah.
Cole World starts with Zeke and Diggs. I like it. 2 foundational players. Then we've got Gibson ahead of Jones, which is how we would have drafted it as well. Jones ahead of Eckler, though. Would you have taken Jones ahead of Eckler, especially considering all the turmoil there in Green Bay right now?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't. I think I actually have Eckler in higher, if I'm not mistaken. I do have Eckler higher than Aaron Jones. So I would have taken him, and there goes Najee, the guy that I was hoping was going to fall to me. So best. It's okay, because I'm actually happy with my second guy here, and that's J.K. Dobbins. That's an easy pick for me right off the board. I'm actually really excited about J.K. this year.
All right, now I look at the board, and yeah, J.K. I actually wouldn't have taken J.K. there. I
That's
would have
okay.
taken Joe Main, Moneybag, Mixon. He is one spot higher than Dobbins in my rankings, but
Mm.
we just see that a little bit differently. I just don't see a way where Joe Mixon does not get at least like 20 touches a game. He's going to be a
Oh, for
touch like
sure.
a running back monster,
For sure, for sure. Look, technically, I was supposed to
volume
take
monster.
Joe Mixon without a doubt. But
Mm,
I like J.K. Obviously, it's still early. We're still messing with our rankings. I actually had Joe Mixon is my running back 10 right now. J.K. is my running back
mm.
13. I like the fresher legs, the younger legs. J.K. coming into he's in a run first offense compared to all these weapons
Yeah.
out there in Cincinnati. With Joe Moneybag Mixon,
There is a
Argo.
question in the chat here. It's from Argos. What's up, my guy? He said, would you take Jonathan Taylor over Zeke? So in my rankings, I have Zeke one spot higher than Jonathan Taylor. Zeke is my RB7. Taylor is my RB8. I feel more comfortable with Zeke's role in the offense and that offense in general. So I would personally be taking Zeke. I think you see it the same. Zeke over JT.
Yeah, Zeke over JT. I
Okay.
mean, if you know me, I'm not a huge JT lover. Not that I don't believe he's talented. I can't buy in to him as a first rounder for me. Not at all. Mahomes.
Jack said I thought with Rodgers leaving, Jones goes up. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what you mean specifically there. Maybe let us know what you mean
He meant. I
specifically.
think.
A couple things.
I just
Mhm.
think. I just think that. I mean, the way I read it was that Aaron Rodgers is gone. They're not going to be passing too much, and then
Okay, right.
Aaron Jones is going to have the opportunity to
Totally.
to get more touches.
Yeah, and that could be true. I feel like the offense is going to be much worse without Aaron Rodgers, so it puts me off a little bit.
Right. Right. Right.
Calvin Ridley now goes in the second round now that Julio's gone at the 2.8. That's going to be pretty common this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really worried about drafting Calvin that high. I don't want to take him that high because I want to start with two running backs to build a foundation for my team. I like the wide receivers I can get late, but I don't think it's too high to take Calvin there. I don't think you should be worried. But are you taking Calvin over a guy like D Hop who is still on the board? I'm. I don't
Uh,
think I can.
let me just look really fast. I mean, I am taking Calvin over D Hop. I like Calvin a lot better. I'm not. I think it's the quarterback play. Once again, there's it's all about like who do you prefer at the moment. I think the production is going to be there for Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins. Calvin Ridley is the only guy there now. Is he going to get double team? I don't think he's that type of guy that's going to get double team. I think Kyle Pitts is going to take all the attention off of um off of Calvin Ridley. Mike Davis in the backfield that's kind of gonna open up a little bit, but I mean, who knows? I personally like Calvin
Yeah.
over D Hop, in my personal opinion.
Okay, that's interesting. Um, so why don't you talk about the picks that just happened? And Ahan, I think Ahan is drafting at the 1-1. He said, my bad, I actually went on auto because that would make more sense as to why James Robinson went off the board that early.
Yeah, yeah. James
Do
Robinson
you want to
went.
go ahead and chat about what's happened so
Yeah,
far?
Swifty went at the 211 there. I like that. James Robinson, DK Metcalf, George Kittle, second tight end off the board there. Justin Jefferson. That's another thing. Justin Jefferson. I mean, I think I have Justin Jefferson over D Hop in my rankings, which is kind of crazy. Oh no, he's just one under. D Hop is 7. Justin Jefferson is 8. So, there we go. Miles Sanders, AJ Brown, and Clyde. AJ Brown in the third. Is that good value for you now? With Julio there.
It's really hard to say, man. AJ Brown's upside is limited now. He was already in an offense that was very run heavy and focused on a lot of play actions. So now you add another alpha male there with Julio Jones. It's hard to say if there's going to be a top. Before Julio was there was talks. Hey, AJ Brown could be the number one wide receiver in all of fantasy, right?
Right.
And now I don't see a pathway for that to happen personally. I just don't think that could be possible. But I still think top 5 could be really safe for him. Like he's still going to see a lot of work. He goes as the wide receiver 8 off the board here, though. And looking at my rankings, where is he for you after, post Julio Jones trade? He's my wide receiver 7.
AJ
So
Brown,
I think
I have him 6.
someone still got good value for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think where they're right there is still great. For redrafts, I think he does fall. For Dynasty, I think he stays the same for me. If Julio, we don't know the details of his contract and how long he actually has. Unless was it young?
Julio?
Yeah,
Julio Jones?
yeah.
He's got like 2 years left, I believe.
Okay, so they're just taking his contract from
Yeah,
Atlanta.
no, they haven't given him an extension or anything.
Okay,
So, well, I
so
mean, that could happen, but
yeah,
they haven't done that as
that
of
could
yet.
happen. But I think I'm taking AJ Brown in that area, maybe 1 or 2 spots
Yeah.
earlier, but I still see value in AJ Brown. If we think about it, I'm not saying Corey Davis or Jonnu Smith is the equivalent to Julio Jones, but he's the equivalent of those 2 players working like in the offense.
Yeah.
If that makes any
I'm just
sense.
going to quickly address a comment in the chat. It's from Argos. He says, some people believe the Julio trade drops Ridley's value, even though Calvin performed well without Julio last year. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, Calvin Ridley hasn't done anything. He's done everything to prove that he can be a dominant wide receiver 1 in an offense, even without Julio Jones. Look at the stats when Julio Jones was not there. Ridley was putting up monster games still, like top 5 games every week. So personally, no, I'm not worried about Calvin without Julio. I still think they're going to need to throw the ball a ton. I think he goes and has a great year, top 5 year potentially. So I wouldn't be worried about drafting Calvin Ridley. I don't think Julio is going to hurt AJ as much as people think. Yeah, you could be right. I just see, a potentially limited upside. If A-Rod leaves, then where would you rank Devontae? That's a good question, but I'll let you answer as I make my pick.
If Aaron Rodgers leaves, look, let me just go to my rankings really fast and just tell you where I have Aaron Rodgers. Okay, where can I find Aaron Rodgers? Gosh, did I disrespect him that much? I have him quarterback 8. That's with the expectations of him staying in Green Bay. If he does leave, depending, or if Devontae Adams does leave, I'll probably have him wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, around there. So that means these are the people ahead of him: Tyreek, Stephon Diggs, AJ Brown, and potentially Calvin Ridley. So that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes sense. Because if A-Rod stays, then Adams is the top 10. Yeah, I mean,
if A-Rod stays, he'll be like wide receiver 1. He should still be the wide receiver 1 this 100%. Year. There's no reason to question that. But if he leaves, yeah, he drops out of the top, 4 or 5 potentially. I just want to highlight, I did select Julio Jones here in the 4th round. That wasn't to make a point. That's simply because he was the best wide receiver available on my board still. He's my wide receiver 11 after this move. I haven't moved him down too much. I might need to look at that a little bit more in depth as the offseason rolls on, as I continue to think about this. But I think I would still draft Julio Jones over like an Amari Cooper, over a guy like Chris Godwin, CeeDee Lamb. So that's kind of my thought process there, taking him in the 4th round. I have to admit, though, I'm not feeling super comfortable about him being my wide receiver 1, and that's that he's in Tennessee.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask. I was like, how are you feeling now that you have him on your team? Does that feel like, I can sit on Julio, I'm excited? Julio, for me, after this whole trade, this is somebody that I'm actually trading for throughout the year, in my opinion. I need to see how he's going to work, how he's going to fit in this role. I mean, they have 2 star players on that team already. Okay, yeah. AJ Brown and Derrick Henry. We were already skeptical. We were skeptical last year. I remember you were skeptical. He was like, "Oh man, I don't know, because Derrick Henry, he has so many touches, blah blah blah," and then he popped off. AJ Brown popped off, and he popped off. I mean, can 3 people really go off on this team?
That's actually I've got a take I want to discuss on the podcast later today, which will come out in the next 3 or 4 hours. We're going to record a podcast right after this.
Okay,
But
okay, makes
in
sense.
short, and I don't want to explain it too much right now because this is a mock draft. I don't think the Titans are real contenders now that they got I don't think that this Julio Jones trade has actually made them real contenders, and a lot of that has to do with the defense. I will break that down later on the podcast, but the main thought process is the defense really didn't get much better, and they're relying on a rookie cornerback in Caleb Farley to be their cornerback one. They're going to have to score a bunch of points again. So personally, I am on the side of, yeah, they're going to need to throw the ball a lot, and they're going to need to score a lot of points. So hopefully all these guys can be fantasy relevant. Um, Lavi said, "Are y'all grading at the end?" Yes, we will grade your drafts at the very end,
Mm-hmm.
and they will be super quick. So they're going to be less than 30-second grades. Um, I want to quickly say before we go into this fifth round, if you're watching, shout out to you. Appreciate you. If you want to support us, just drop a like on this video. That's right. Just drop a like in 3, 2, 1. Hit that like button. Let's see how many likes we can get. And also want to say subscribe if you like the content.
That's
We
right.
got a bunch of live stream content coming for this year. Not only mock drafts, but also some pretty fun shows that we're
Mm-hmm.
not going to go into too much detail about just now. But I want to quickly address Adam Thielen in the fourth, Tyler Lockett, and Robert Woods all before CeeDee Lamb, who just goes off the board.
Yeah.
Personally, I have CeeDee Lamb ranked above all of those players.
Yeah.
So that was very surprising for me to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I had CeeDee Lamb. I had my eye on CeeDee Lamb, and I didn't want to say anything. I was hoping he was gonna fall, but I thought you were gonna take him before me anyway. But yeah, CeeDee Lamb. I think after Terry, maybe after Chris Godwin, that's my next guy potentially. Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb
Okay.
are back to back in my rankings, so it's really interesting. Mike Davis off the board, DJ Moore, and then
Yeah,
Mike
I saw that
Davis.
Mike Davis on the board.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my rankings now, and it gets real tough here to make a decision because I'm in three mindsets here: Kenny Galladay,
Mhm.
Jamar Chase, Devonta Smith,
Mhm.
and Brandon Ayuk. So technically four
Right.
mind spaces right now, and I really don't know what to do. So instead, I'm gonna go and just grab a tight end that I know I can rely on here in the fifth round, and I'm gonna grab Mark Andrews to kind of solidify my tight end position.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, that makes
it's
it
a little bit
easier
of
for
a
me.
reach, I think, but again, like if any of those guys come back to me, then I'm happy. If none of them come back to me, then it is what it is. And there's other guys that I like that
Yeah.
are a tier below them.
Kieran here trying to get some information. Do you see Lamb at wide receiver 1 in Dallas? I think both and I, Zach, agree that we do see him as number 1. Uh,
No,
oh, you
no,
don't?
we do not agree on
Okay,
that.
well, I see CeeDee Lamb as number 1. He doesn't.
So where do you have Cooper ranked and CeeDee Lamb ranked
Like I said,
then?
I'm pretty sure they're back to back right now, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, actually, Amari Cooper's higher for me, but I mean, me talking, I'm saying CeeDee
Mm,
Lamb. So Amari Cooper's 14,
mm,
CeeDee Lamb is Amari Cooper's 13, CeeDee Lamb's 14. But
yeah.
I think for me
So
he turns into the number one guy there because I don't believe Amari Cooper is actually going to stay there long term. And
what?
yeah, and I have a theory.
There's so many reasons why that's wrong.
Well, I have a theory about this. They do have an out for Amari Cooper's contract. I don't believe that Amari Cooper will stay there. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna either potentially trade him away or find another reason why they don't want him. But CeeDee Lamb played in the slot the whole time last year. If you look it up, he was in the slot the whole time. I think he's gonna see a lot more touches and a lot more looks coming his way.
I agree he will see a lot more touches and a lot more looks, but we're talking about a wide receiver they just signed like an $100 million deal last season. They're not going to be able to move off that deal. They're not going to be able to trade that deal. And one, Amari Cooper is the same age as Calvin Ridley. like Amari Cooper is not an old wide receiver.
No,
He's young.
he's not.
He's still a very talented guy. He is the wide receiver one in this offense. It
Mm-hmm.
will be close, but I still think Amari Cooper's a guy. He's very talented. He will play the X wide receiver there. And personally, like when we're talking about redraft, I don't need to think about if they're gonna trade him or release him in 2 or 3 years
Oh
time. I'm thinking
well,
about this year.
I'm not thinking about. I'll still take Amari Cooper. I'm not thinking about them trading him. I just think long term, like if we're going
So
dynasty
be
or just in
very
general.
clear right now. Be very clear? Because you're very confusing. Are you drafting CeeDee Lamb or Amari Cooper
I'm
first?
drafting CeeDee Lamb.
Okay. Because you're saying two different things.
How am I saying? Anyways, yeah, I would rather take CeeDee
I don't know
Lamb.
what
I think
happened to my mouse. My
right
mouse
now.
is not working right now. Oh, and we're back. That was weird.
Did you charge it or something? You need to charge it.
Nah, it's good. Okay, so then we got Mahomes, Allen, Prescott, and Herbert off the board. Do you feel like you took Josh Allen too early, maybe,
No, I'm happy
or
where
not worried about it?
I'm at right now. I
Okay,
think I'll get a little bit worried depending who's going to be the guys available coming back to me
right.
at this turn. So I'm pretty happy with it right now. I think
Okay.
Josh Allen would have gone earlier, or would have gone if I didn't take him. So I wouldn't have had the option.
Nah, for sure.
There goes Kyler, and then I'm on the clock here. Okay.
Oh, there's a couple things I want to try right here, and I know that Lamar's going to be available. Should I take Lamar? Ooh, get the stack of Lamar, Mark Andrews, maybe. Lamar at the 6 is pretty good value, man. Because you're not going to take him. You got Josh Allen, unless you take him to troll me. See, that makes
No.
my decision way, way easier. Let's get Lamar Jackson in the 6th round. What the heck? I'm cheering. So I got Lamar, Mark Andrews. I got that stack. I've got my 3 running backs. I've got Julio. So I feel like there's still a lot of wide receiver talent out there
Mm-hmm.
that I can potentially, grab in the later rounds. Shout out to
Right.
Mike Drummond for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you, my guy. If you're not subscribed, guys, just drop a subscribe if you like the content.
Yeah.
Don't have to if you don't like the content. Like we can be pretty average, boring people to listen to, and sometimes we can be pretty exciting. So, hopefully you do enjoy the content.
Yeah.
There's a question in the chat. Well, Kieran said, I think it will be similar to Julio Ridley split when he's talking about CD
Yeah.
and
CD and
Amari. The
Mario.
reality is, like they're both going to be very valuable. This offense is going to have to throw the ball a lot. The defense didn't really improve. Like Micah Parsons wasn't the answer to this defense. They already had decent linebackers.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to throw the ball a lot still. And you're right. Both of them are going to carry a lot of value. Do you agree?
Yeah. I 100% agree. They're gonna play a massive part in the offense, just depending on who you like and who you prefer, really.
Yeah. Where is Kyler in your guys' rankings? Kyler over Josh Allen. So it depends on who you ask, right? That's a great question
Yeah.
because if you ask me, it's Kyler Murray, but if you ask Badaki, it's Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So
It's Josh Allen for me. I'm
um,
Kyler Murray.
yeah,
Just
he's not a Kyler Murray fan. I don't
I
get it,
respect
but
him. I respect him. I think he's my third quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, third or fourth quarterback. But I think where you got him is great value. But there's something for me about Kyler Murray I just don't like. It's hard. It's really hard to say. It's really hard to really explain. I'm
okay.
gonna be here for 5 minutes trying to say that.
So Harry says, "OMG, I keep getting sniped." I'm curious who he got sniped from. It was either T.J. Hawkinson, Lamar, or Devonta Smith, probably. If you're waiting for one of those quarterbacks to fall, though, like Kyler, Lamar, and Dak, if you're waiting for them to fall into the 6th round, I don't think you're gonna get them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't see those guys actually falling that far. Personally, I don't see them falling that far. Okay, so we've got Ryan Tannehill, who is now gone off the board at the 6'11", which makes him the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th quarterback off the board.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're reaching, guys. Now we are reaching. Ryan Tannehill is my quarterback 11. He goes off to did I say 9 or 8?
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. Don't reach on these guys. Do you feel like that's a reach to take Tannehill in the 6th? Like you're now going from trying to grab a steal with value to reaching maybe a round or two early for a guy that you probably shouldn't have. Is that the same way
I
you feel?
mean, yeah, there's definitely some other people on the board, like Joe Burrow, Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson if he does play. Maybe not Matt Ryan, but maybe he's in the talks kind of. But yeah, I think there was a couple people I would have taken over Ryan Tannehill. Definitely a Tom Brady in my opinion, especially in redrafts. I mean, if you heard Zach's take 50 touchdowns this year, you got to take him.
Yeah, 50 touchdowns this year, put it on the board. And I'm not actually really worried about that take. I really feel like that's going to happen.
He
So now
believes
I'm
in it.
on the board here. I'm on the board here, and Debo just went. Oh, that makes things really difficult. Um, I just don't like Cortland Sutton, man. It's just more of a feeling. I can't really explain exactly why. I'm just not a massive fan of Cortland Sutton.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's between Jerry Jeudy here and Tyler Boyd and Robbie Anderson. Did Tyler Boyd already go off the board? No, he didn't. He's there.
No, he's still available.
Um, man, I'm just gonna go with Jerry Jeudy. And my wide receiver core, I was really hoping Debo would fall or Deontay, but it is what it is.
It is what it is because I'm taking Cortland Sutton and I love him. Um, Look, this draft is interesting right here. I'm weak on running backs right now. I need another running back.
Someone said, Kieran said, huge reach for Tannehill. Look, this is why we mock guys. Whoever's at the 101, I believe that's Ahan. This is why, no, sorry, at the 1.2, Burluke, sorry.
Yeah.
That's why we mock, whether you agree or you don't, we feel like it's a reach. Why are people so high on Jalen Hurts? That's a good question. The defense is terrible. This is just my take. The defense is terrible. They're going to have to score a lot of points, and he's got massive rushing upside every week. Now, I will say, though, I think we can both say this. We're both not as high on Jalen Hurts as your average person. He's my quarterback 13. Badaki, where does he sit for you?
He's my 15 right now. I'm not.
Yeah, so we're not as high on him as other
Yeah,
people.
I'm not as high as others, but is interesting. I think he does have value, like you said. He does have the value with his legs to rush and run. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about it though. I do see. Obviously, I took Devonta Smith. I do see the upside for him, because he's the only guy there. But other than that, I'm just not excited about Devonta Smith. I mean, not Jalen Hurts.
All right, so we see Trey Sermon go in the 7th round. Right after, we see Raheem Mostert, Colonel Mustard. So I feel so confident when I take 3 running backs.
Yeah, you're
I don't
buzzing.
feel like I don't have to reach for Mike Davis, Gaskin, one of the rookies. You know, I don't think Trey Sermon at 7-11 is necessarily a reach, but I just feel more confident in taking 3 running backs than I do, and potentially like hedging my bets on one of these rookies.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely feel I need to reach for one of these guys because I am struggling.
You're on struggle street right now.
I'm just looking at my rankings.
Waddle goes off the board before Robbie Anderson. Then we have Will Fuller in the 8th. I'm just going to be honest about the Will Fuller pick. There's other guys on the board that I feel more confident in taking there. That's just me. That's just how I personally feel.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you have to do that. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel.
I agree. Oh, look at Letty.
You were going to take Lenny?
No, I wasn't, but I'm just noting that there he goes. There goes Lenny there. I mean,
there he goes.
I want to see if the guy falls to me. I think he will. I don't have any.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. So Zach said took Sermon because all my skill position slots were full. Might as well take a shot. Totally. Yeah, if you're in that spot, then you can definitely take a chance on a guy like that. And looking at Zach's team, which is team 11, he's got a pretty like solid foundational team. So Damian Harris goes right before you. Is that who you're looking for, or were you looking for Ronald Jones
I was
first?
looking for either Ronald Jones or Damian Harris. So
Okay.
I'm happy. I'm happy with whoever was gonna fall to me. I was happy. So I'm happy with Ronald Jones.
Okay, cool. So now I'm on the board, and I'm probably going to be looking to pick up another wide receiver because I don't love the depth I have at that position. Claypool doesn't excite me. Brandon Cooks doesn't excite me. Um, I would like to take a reach on a rookie here, but I'm going to just kind of get some more solidified depth and take Tyler Boyd. I think Tyler Boyd in the eighth round will still return great value. We have a Cincinnati team that is, lost some key pieces on defense, and they're gonna have to throw the ball a lot. So hopefully this
Hmm.
team continues to excel offensively. I will say I have two Bengals. Don't love it, but two Bengals that I believe in. So it's okay.
Shout out to Jack for subscribing. That's awesome. But yeah, two Bengals there. Joe Moneybag Mixon and Tyler Boyd, who is your wide receiver three.
Tyler Boyd is my wide receiver three, but I still see value. Like I said, it's similar to Dallas. Like the defense isn't good. They're gonna have to score points, and I believe in the quarterbacks that are throwing them the ball. So
Right. All good. All good.
it's
Claypool.
the other person I would have taken was either Claypool. Um, I don't want to say who else, but
I know
you
who
know,
else, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I think you would
I need
rather.
some more. I need some safety, basically.
Yeah,
Is what I'm looking for
exactly,
there.
and
So
that's probably the last safety person on the board until you start like going for upside.
exactly,
I mean, maybe there's
yeah,
one more because you talk about him a lot, but I'm not a huge fan of him. But I doubt
yeah.
he's gonna go off the board. Who knows? You never
No,
know.
and even here, like if it's the guy that I'm thinking of, it's too early for him
Right.
at
Okay.
this point in the
Makes sense.
draft.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Um, all right, so Noah Fant's on the board. Oh, damn it. I really wanted Curtis Samuel to come back to me. That was the other guy I really wanted.
Wow.
Just fat GGs. All right, Ahan says from tight ends, um, will Goddard or Gronk have a good year? I think Goddard
Goddard
has
will have a
pretty
good
much
year.
set himself up for,
Yeah.
solid targets all year. He's my tight end eight. I don't know about you, Badaki. Um, Gronk, look, Gronk's gonna have a bunch of inconsistent games. He's gonna have a game where he gets 2 points. Then he's gonna have another
Right.
game where he gets, 15. Then he's gonna have another week where he has four. And then he's gonna have one week where he hits like 25. So Gronk is not a guy that I'm looking to draft at all at any point.
Yeah.
Could he finish the year as like a top 15 tight end? Yes, definitely. But it's going to be so inconsistent. You're never going to know when to start Gronkowski. So that's a guy that personally I'm looking to avoid, and I think you think you see it similarly.
Yeah, I agree. I love Dallas Goddard, Gronk. I'm not drafting him in my personal opinion at all. There's not somebody that I'm looking for to draft. So that's my
Yeah.
personal opinion. Jack had a question though. Do you guys? I don't know if we went over that. Do you guys like Rojo over
Oh,
Fournette or Fournette over Rojo? For me personally, I like Ronald Jones. I see upside there. I think he has. They're gonna give him more opportunity. I think with Leonard Fournette, he's back for another year. I think he's gonna play the same role. I think everyone came in.
oh man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know how to value that backfield because
Mm-hmm.
as much as we want to say like Fournette is a short-term option, there's no way that they're going to give Ronald Jones a long-term contract.
100%. And
So,
I think for redrafts, that's why I'm happy to take Ronald Jones, especially where I took
right.
him in the eighth round. I think there is value. There's weeks where he won you games. He's a good flex option if you really need him. In my opinion, Leonard Fournette, I don't. I mean, he did great in the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
in my opinion, I think it's Ronald Jones for the season and Leonard Fournette. For those 1 or 2 games where you need somebody. In my personal opinion, but it's still really early to value.
Yeah. So someone commented Gronkowski's a good best ball player. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Best ball, he's a good pick because, like I said, any week he could be boom or bust. All right, so I'm sitting on the board here now,
Mm.
and wouldn't you know it,
He's on the board
there's a
there.
bunch of
He's
there's a
ready
bunch
there
of
for you.
rookies I want to take right now,
He's ready for the
but
grabbing there.
I just don't know because then I'm gonna have three people from the same team.
Oh, who was the other guy you're gonna take? Oh, no, wait. I'm lost on who you're gonna take now.
Yes, you are.
I mean, do you
I'm
think?
gonna hold off another round, and I'm just gonna take just a little bit more security in my backfield. And I'm gonna take David Johnson here. Do I like it? I hate it. I
David
hate that
Johnson.
I just drafted David
Yeah,
Johnson.
that's
I
dumb.
want to throw up. I want to throw up because I just drafted David Johnson. But my reasoning is there are like 6 wide receivers I could have taken there and been happy with. So I'm hoping that one of them, kind of falls to me on the turn. Let's quickly highlight though Tom Brady in the 8th round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th quarterback off the board.
Wow.
Um, I will say though, like I think it's safe, but you're kind of getting to a point where you're not getting a value pick there, right? Like I want to get another positional player and then get Tom Brady in the 9th, 10th round. Like I don't want to take him too early, because I really want to get the value from him as a steal. Um, I'm assuming someone says I'm assuming you guys have Javonte Williams over Trey Sermon. Yes, we do. Javonte is my running back, um, 28, and Trey Sermon is my running back 34. So I think you have him as well over Trey Sermon,
Yeah,
right, Javonte?
I do have
Okay.
Javante over Trey Sermon. Yeah, Javante for me is my 26, and Trey is 37 for me.
Okay. Got it.
Hmm.
So we see King Adams, which is Team 9, take Jalen Hurts right after he took Tom Brady. Um,
I don't.
there's just not there's not a redraft that I want to leave with 2 quarterbacks
Yeah,
in.
has King Adam drafted with us before?
I don't know.
Have you
I don't
drafted with
know.
us before? If you haven't, I don't know if you know, but we don't like to take two quarterbacks. Reason being is because you can always get a quarterback off waiver wire, especially in redrafts in a 12-man league. You get it for 1 week. Maybe you pick up a Kirk Cousins or if he's still available in your leagues, or I don't know, whoever is available. Gosh, but a lot of quarterbacks went off the board, so I can't even tell you who to pick up.
I mean, like, there's still Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Stafford. What do you mean? There's so many
I
left.
think all because I have rookies only. My bad. I didn't see. Yeah, there is Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan. You can pick up a Baker Mayfield for 1 week and take your chances with him. You want to fill up depth on your teams instead of having depth in a quarterback because someone like Tom Brady is not going to get hurt. Someone that is consistent that is going to, and Aaron Rodgers is not going to get hurt. Obviously, those guys have been hurt
Yeah.
before, but you solidify that because you can always get a quarterback off waivers no matter what.
Yep.
Sheesh.
A shout out to the 14 people watching the stream right now. You guys are awesome. If you could drop a like on this video, that would mean a lot. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you love the live content, we're gonna be helping people out all year with sleepers, with people to draft, people to avoid on the channel. We've got a ton of videos on our channel right now that are not popping off, but they're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
So here's where Antonio Brown goes off the board in the 10th round, and that's awesome because I was hoping he would fall to me. You got great value there to get Antonio Brown in the 10th round. Again, I have a take on our YouTube page. You can find my take there. It's basically wide receivers we're drafting, so really well done. I will say Logan Thomas in the 10th round is great value as well. I have him ranked above Gronkowski, above Gesicki, so I like the pick there.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I think my guy is gonna fall to me unless Splashing here is gonna take it. But you already know who I'm gonna take if this guy doesn't take it, and I absolutely love this.
And I'm hoping that you take him because then I can have the other end of that.
Yeah, 100% understand. But this is really I get Bateman and the guy. Hopefully, yep, there you go. Elijah Moore coming to me right here without a doubt. You know,
Love it.
Rashad Bateman and Elijah Moore, two upside players we both love. I mean, if my draft falls like this, that's amazing. I don't think you would take David Johnson at all. I understand why you
I
took
actually
him.
would.
I
I
mean,
actually would.
would you take him in the ninth though? Do you think he can fall a little bit later, or do you think people will snipe him from you?
I
Not
mean,
snipe
the
him,
thing
but
is, like, I don't want anyone from Houston, but David Johnson's still going to get a lot of work out of the
yeah,
backfield. So,
100%.
like, he could still finish as a top 24, top 28 running back this year. I'm getting him just as insurance. If one of my running backs go down, I want insurance. So, um, yeah, I mean, I still see value there. And again, if I need to solidify my running back room, he's probably the last guy that I can rely on. Yeah, there's no one else I'm looking at that I when I looked at the board, like I said, there was 5 wide receivers here in the ninth round when I took David Johnson that I was okay with.
Yeah,
Those 5 were Rashad Bateman, Brandon Cooks, Antonio Brown, Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore. I got Rondale Moore. So I would have even taken Rondale Moore at the ninth, you know?
yeah.
So
Well, that's what I'm
that being
saying.
said, like I just need the security of a running back that is serviceable. I'm not
Okay.
excited about David Johnson,
Right,
you
right,
know?
right. Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. You secure it, and then you're happy with the 4 or 5 other guys that can potentially come to you on the turn.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
That's what's so good about not drafting on the turn.
yeah.
When you're drafting at the 1 or the 12 spot, it sucks because like you have to make a pick and then wait for 24 picks.
Mm.
There's no way you can like predict who's going to be available. I hate drafting on the edges. It's the worst. Dexon said Jameis Winston is underrated 100%. Yeah, Jameis Winston is underrated. He is actually my quarterback sleeper this year. If you go to our page, we made a video about that maybe 2 weeks ago. It's
Yeah.
called Quarterback Sleepers, Late Round Quarterback Sleepers. You can
Mm-hmm.
actually read my or listen to our takes there.
Yep.
I do agree Jameis could be great value this year. How high do you think Scary Terry's upside is? I think Scary Terry could finish as a top 7 wide receiver this year if everything falls to him the way I think it could. He's got a gunslinger as a quarterback. He's currently my wide receiver 13, but again, I see top 8 upside because people could get injured and he could continue to break out. So how you probably don't see it the same way though. You
No.
probably see more limited upside for him.
I definitely see it. I definitely believe he does have a gunslinger as a quarterback, but I don't know, man. I think there's so much inconsistency with Ryan Fitzpatrick, in my opinion, that I think there's going to be weeks that he can pop off, which is great, and there's going to be weeks that he doesn't pop off. I still have him ranked as if he is going to pop off, in my opinion. I have him wide receiver 12 in my rankings, so that's actually higher than Zach. I think that there's tremendous upside for him. I just think there's inconsistencies coming.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, I'm on the board, and this is again why I'm so okay to take running backs early and heavy and just wait for wide receivers to fall to me because there's a breakout that you like, that I like. He's on the board. His name's Darnell Mooney.
Yeah.
And my wide receiver core is slowly shaping up to not be a weakness anymore, in my opinion. I've got Julio Jones, got Jerry Jeudy, Tyler Boyd, Rondale Moore, and Darnell Mooney. Tons of upside, a little bit of risk, but I still see tons of upside there, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Darnell Mooney. I did a piece on him of wide receiver breakouts that you should look at. I'm going to take Javion Hawkins. You already know why. Mike Davis. I don't believe he can take the full workload. I need running back depth as well. I took Ronald Jones. Let me get a little bit extra room in that running back room, an extra seat in that running back room with Javion Hawkins there. Hopefully he can see some turnaround throughout towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I think someone was gonna snipe him. Whoever had Mike Davis. Yeah, seven was gonna take Javion on the next turn. So maybe you could have waited till 12-6. But that's the hard thing about waiting. You just don't know what's gonna happen. So if you want to just get the security, take the guy.
Yeah.
Zach says Fitz forces the ball to the number 1. He does. He definitely finds a favorite and targets him heavily. He's gonna have a lot of options though compared to what he had in Miami. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Dexon says Baker Mayfield is always hit or miss. Yes, he is. He said, to be honest, you could put Julio Jones at safety. It's true, man. He's a big body guy. He could literally
Yeah,
play any
100%.
position on the field. Argos says Darnell Mooney is Jalen Ramsey's father. Uh, I don't know if you remember that game where Darnell Mooney just was like burning Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so Henry Ruggs went off the board, and that was a guy I was hoping would fall, and that would kind of like put a nice little bow on my wide receiver room. I made a video. We actually made a video about wide receivers we are leaving the draft with. Henry Ruggs was on that list. Darnell Mooney was on that list. Who else was on that list, Badaki? Antonio Brown.
Marquise Hollywood Brown. I don't know if you said him.
Yeah. So I love Henry Ruggs there in the 11th round. There's so much upside for Henry Ruggs in his second year. Really great pick there.
Yeah, I like it. I'm just trying to find some different value here on these guys and who I believe can really step up. I think there's one guy I'm going to take, which will be interesting.
Yeah,
and we can talk.
I've got someone particular in mind as well.
And we can kind of talk about him. I wonder if it's going to be this guy or the other guy. But
right after I make my pick, let's start doing these draft grades, by the way.
Yeah. For sure.
Just so we can make the video slightly shorter.
I actually like my team.
An hour or so.
I'm buzzing. Josh Allen, Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, Kenny G, Devonta Smith, Darren Waller, Cortland Sutton, Ronald Jones, Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore, Javion Hawkins. Man.
Happy with it?
I'm buzzing. This is great.
I will say that Nyheim Hines that late is actually pretty good value. Maybe that's a guy we should start looking at later. J.D. McKissic, I'm not a massive fan of. As a Washington fan, I just feel like he's getting phased out this year. And I think there's a guy, Jarrett Patterson, who could potentially start to take touches away from J.D. McKissic, undrafted rookie.
Yeah.
But he's got a lot of talent. Tony's
Oh.
off the board. No risk, high reward scenario.
Devonta Parker. Okay. So there's two people I would take here. Obviously, Julio is gone. I think you think of the upside. I'm going to take Russell Gage. It can be Russell Gage, or I don't know if you're going to take the other guys. Zacchaeus. I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
Zacchaeus. There's a guy that I'm targeting in dynasty leagues. His name's Frank Darby. He's a 6th-round pick this year out of Arizona State. He's got a lot of talent. He could potentially find himself into a workload and be the guy, because Russell Gage is already 26. My thought process is Atlanta probably wants to get a younger wide receiver to kind of complement Calvin. I think they might give Darby that chance. I'm going to take a tight end here. A guy that I see a lot of value in. You know what? I'm not going to actually take a tight end because there's a lot of tight ends that I'm still comfortable with to take with my last pick. Of course, now I'm going to get stream sniped. But I'm just going to take a shot on a guy who I think has had a lot of hype out of camp. That's De'Ami Brown. Again, my wide receiver room, I feel comfortable with it now. There's just so much depth, so much upside. Let's start giving out draft grades, Badaki. Starting with Team 1, which is Seahawks.
Good old Seahawks.
Let's have a look at your squad. I think this might have been your first time drafting with us here. So your running backs are Christian McCaffrey, James Robinson, and Kenyon Drake. Whew. Let's talk about it. DK Metcalf, Adam Thielen, Tyler Lockett, Juju, Michael Gallup is your wide receiver core.
Yeah.
Your tight end is Goddard. Your quarterbacks are Rodgers and Watson. Both might not play this year.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. It's not my favorite draft, and like I said, we mock just to talk about players. We mock to talk about strategies. This is why we mock. Like, I'm not a fan of this draft. I don't think James Robinson should have gone there. He should have. Sanders was on the board. Edwards was on the board. Carson was on the board. Kareem Hunt, David Montgomery. James Robinson shouldn't have gone that high. I don't know if that was an auto pick or not for you.
Yeah, I think there was times where he did auto pick, so they kind of gave him the best available. But
overall, your running backs are weak, which is crazy to say because you have McCaffrey. Kenyon Drake is not a guy I want to rely on as my RB3. Wide receivers are strong. You have no starting quarterback because both of these guys might not play.
Yeah.
It's a C. It's a C for me. I'm sorry, it's a C. No quarterback you can truly rely on coming out of the draft. only 2 running backs you can start. One might not even be the number 1 on his team. It's a C for me. I like the pick of Goddard that late. I think that's good value. But yeah, I'm sorry, it might be harsh, but that's how I see it.
No, all good. I believe it. All right, I agree with it. Burr, Luke, Dalvin Cook, Swifty, Michael Carter, and AJ Dillon. Decent room. I think it's a little bit short there with AJ Dillon. So you technically, in my eyes, only have 3 running backs. Amari Cooper, Roberto Woods, Curtis Samuel, Michael Pittman, and Jalen Reagor. I think there's upside here for sure. Pittman, Woods, Amari, and Curtis Samuel. And then Reagor is a good deep sleeper in the 11th round. I think it's good, great value. Ryan Tannehill, a little bit early. Would have taken other quarterbacks there, but I think it's still decent that you do have a good quarterback. And then George Kittle and Pat Freiermuth going there in the 12th round. I think it's a decent team. I wonder who you're going to take here in this last pick. But this is a B for me. I think it's just pretty decent.
Okay, let's look at team 3. You do that thing where you click on the names and then it highlights that team.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely do that. Yeah, sorry.
Team 3 is Arnav, and he's got Kamara, Etienne, Gordon, Gainwell, Hubbard. Decent running back room. I don't see much value with Hubbard unless CMC goes down, so I get it as a late round snag. Wide receivers are Jefferson, Lamb, Chark, Landry. Strong wide receiver room. Your tight end is Gesicki. Your quarterback is Mahomes, and then you got Lawrence as well. There's good depth all around. You know, there's not a glaring weakness on this team. The only thing I would say is that you only have 1 running back that I'm really comfortable starting with. I like Etienne, but I don't know if I can start him day 1. So that's what happens when you take Justin Jefferson in the 3rd instead of a guy like Sanders or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm going to quickly make my pick and grab a guy that I'm going to be talking about on the podcast later today, which is Cole Kmet. Super excited to talk about him on the podcast and tell you why. Mm-hmm. But quickly, team 3, I'm going to give you a B+. I don't think there's any glaring weaknesses, but there's not really, solid strength at any position in particular either. You know, you've got 2 wide receivers I can rely on. You've got 1 running back I can rely on, but you've also got Patrick Mahomes, to kind of beef up your team. So it's a B plus for me.
Yeah, I agree. Guys, put your questions in the comments because after we grade,
by the way, I see the question about Amon-Ra St. Brown. We will have a Q&A right after we grade these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Team 4, Durka, Miles Sanders, Myles Gaskin, Chase Edmonds, and Tevin Coleman with your last pick here. I don't mind your running backs. I think I'm a little bit hesitant on Miles Sanders. I don't mind Myles Gaskin, Chase Edmonds. I do see value there where you took him, so it's decent. I'm not really excited about your running back room, but I'm okay with it. DeAndre Hopkins, DJ Moore, Laviska Shenault, T.Y. Hilton. It's weak. Okay, it's weak. You should have taken another wide receiver, something. I don't know. I mean, DJ Moore. I think I would have taken Kenny G, Cooper Kupp, Brandon Ayuk, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins over DJ Moore, in my opinion. And then you went 2 quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins. Russ is decent. Kirk Cousins, no point of having another quarterback, like we said earlier. And then Noah Fant and Irv Smith. I love your tight ends. I think they're good value there. I mean, B-. It's not a strong team. You lack depth, and I feel like in every position.
All right. And again, guys, this isn't us being harsh. Hopefully you understand this is just us giving out real advice. And, the point is just to get better. And this is just our opinions. We could be wrong. Team 5, what's up? You got Barkley, you got Davis, Zach Moss, Singletary, Pollard. I see what you did with the Buffalo stack. You secured the Buffalo backfield. What value is that? Don't know. You've got an amazing wide receiver core, probably the best of any team. Calvin Ridley, A.J. Brown, Chris Godwin, Deebo Samuel, Chase, Claypool, and then Aguilar as well, which is nice. Your tight end is Hawkinson. Great steal there in the 6th. Your quarterback is Stafford, which I love him as a late round steal. I think he's going to have a great year. This is a good team. This is a really, really good team. The only thing is your team, this is a championship squad, but that's only if Mike Davis has a full workload the entire year, which we don't know if that will happen.
Yeah, 100%.
if Davis has that workload the entire year and doesn't get injured, this team could compete for a championship, in my opinion. So I'm going to give this an A, just a solid A.
Yeah, I agree. I think let's say Javon Hawkins was on the board and you wanted to snag him in one of those like a Tony Pollard and he was still on there, that would have been a great setup. But obviously that wasn't the case. Anyways, Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and David Jackson for Zach here. Julio Jones, Jerry Jeudy, Tyler Boyd, Rondell Moore, Mooney, De'Ami Brown. I mean, good depth on both sides of the running back and wide receivers. For me, I don't understand the De'Ami Brown pick. I don't see any value there from my personal opinion. But I do love the Mooney. And then Lamar Jackson, great there, great value in the 6. And then Mark Andrews, Cole Kmet. I understand Cole Kmet. I mean, watch the YouTube video. Okay, it's coming.
It's not out yet, but
yeah, it's coming out soon. So stay tuned for that. He has a hot take for Cole Kmet.
Oh, I got a hot take about Cole Kmet.
Yeah,
just check YouTube tomorrow.
I think it's a good team. I'm gonna say A. I'm gonna say A minus. Just give you the minus for De'Ami Brown.
Okay. I will say De'Ami Brown, very talented. Chris
100%.
Collinsworth himself said he
100%.
had a first-round grade on De'Ami Brown.
We were buzzing. I remember we were scouting him. We were buzzing about him. It was like, oh boy.
Yep. Okay, your team. You got Cam Akers, Dobbins, Ronald Jones, Javon Hawkins. You've got Kenny Golladay, Devonta Smith, Cortland Sutton, Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore, Russell Gage. You've got Darren Waller, Evan Ingram, and you got Josh Allen. There's no glaring weakness on this team. The only thing which I think you're probably going to agree on is your running back room is slightly weak, right?
Absolutely.
You don't have a solidified RB3. Jones, could he be that guy? Maybe. Excuse me. Hawkins is really a handcuff. So I'm going to give it B+, and that's just my opinion. The Waller pick kind of sets you apart. That could probably push it to an A-, because you have that tight end that's solidified. The only reason it's that B+ is, again, just because of the running backs.
Yeah.
And I think you would probably agree.
Yeah. Splash. Najee Harris, Kareem Hunt, Raheem Mustard, Damian Harris, and Gus Edwards here. I mean, it's pretty weak in my opinion. I personally think Najee is a great pick there. Raheem Mostert, I don't see him having any value after week 5, 6. In my opinion, Damian Harris is good value. If anything, Damian Harris is your running back 2, in my opinion. Kareem Hunt, he is the running back 2 there, technically. So it's really hard for me to value your running back room. But I think that's pretty weak. Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, Cole Beasley, Devontae Parker. This is pretty weak. I mean, your first 3 guys I think are decent, but Cole Beasley I think is great value, and then Parker I'm not in love with him. I mean, freaking Urban Meyer said, "Bro, get better." Essentially, that's terrible actually if you really think about it. But look, Kyler Murray, and then Rob, and then Adam, Austin Hooper. So I'm not a huge fan of this team. I think your first 3 picks are decent. I'm going to give it C for me.
Oh, that's so harsh. I'm going to be honest. And normally we just draft, grades and move on.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like this team. I actually really like this team, OJ Splashing's team. To get Tyreek Hill in the first and still have that running back room, Najee Harris, Kareem Hunt, I think that's 2 guys I can rely on. And then I've got Mostert and Davis as my, kind of depth pieces. To get Tyreek Hill and Allen Robinson in the first 3 rounds and still have that running back room, it's impressive to me. To get Kyler Murray that late, it's impressive to me. I actually really like the team, man. We're gonna see it differently, but
yeah,
I see it as a B+.
Okay.
But again, we just see it differently because we obviously see guys a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Okay, team 9. King Adams. He's got Devontae Adams, Michael Thomas, OBJ, Jalen Waddle, Henry Ruggs, Kadarius Toney. Solid wide receiver group. Your running backs are Eckler, Montgomery, Javonte Williams, Le'Veon Bell. Your quarterbacks are Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts, and your tight end is Tonyan. The glaring weakness on this team is tight end. Robert Tonyan. Again, the issue is, guys, Aaron Rodgers is not going to be there. I hate to break it to you. He's not going to be there. So Devontae Adams, his value should go down. Robert Tonyan's value should pretty much be gone, in my opinion. There's a bunch of tight ends I would have taken over him.
Yeah.
I like the depth at wide receiver and wide receiver and running back. I'm gonna give you a B minus just because again, Adams, it's too early in my opinion, knowing what I know. Tanyan is not a guy I want to draft. I love the Ruggs pick. But then again, like if you're taking Tom Brady, you don't need to take Jalen Hurts there.
Yeah.
Like you should have taken Logan Thomas instead of Jalen Hurts. If you're gonna roll with Tom Brady, you don't need a quarterback too. So overall, that's my grade for you.
Jack, my brother, JT, Aaron Jones, Lenny, and JD McKissick. I think your running back room is a little bit weak, in my opinion. JD McKissick and then Leonard Fournette, in my opinion, I don't see the value in him only for a certain amount of time. Keenan Allen, Brandon Ayuk, Robbie, Marquise Hollywood Brown, which was my sleeper, so I think that's decent value. I think it's one round too high. St. Brown and Mike Williams. I think it's great here. I think Mike Williams, for me, in my opinion, is irrelevant. I would have taken a Henry Ruggs, a Darnell Mooney, a Russell Gage, somebody over Mike Williams, in my personal opinion. But I do think the wide receiver depth there is decent. Kyle Pitts and then Adam Troutman. Watch the video that's coming out soon. And Justin Herbert, good old Herbie.
Yeah.
Young slinger. Yep, this is a decent team. B. This is B for me. I like it. I think my weakness here for you is the lack of depth in your running back room. Jaden McKissick is irrelevant. I do believe what Zach's saying. He's going to get faded out. You only have 3 running backs here on your team right now, in my opinion.
Okay. Let's quickly address Amon-Ra St. Brown. Actually, we'll do it right after we draft grade these last 2 people. I know that was a question in the chat.
Okay.
Team 11, Zach, you've got Kelsey, the biggest X factor in all of fantasy, and Jonnu Smith as your tight end. You've got, by the way, Jonnu Smith in the 13th round is crazy. Like,
that's buzzing right there.
Crazy.
I should have taken him. I took Evan Ingram over him. Sheesh.
I know. Okay, your running backs are Gibson, Carson, Sermon, Hines. I like it. Your wide receivers are Terry, Jamar, Deontay, Brandon Cooks, Antonio Brown, Terrace Marshall. Quarterback is Joe Burrow. I really like this team. I actually really, really enjoy your team. You've got good depth at running back and a lot of upside with Trey Sermon. You've got good depth at wide receivers, safety, and Antonio Brown and Cooks. And your tight end, obviously you have the best tight end in the game. The only issue is your quarterback, Joe Burrow. If you're going to take Joe Burrow in the 8th, you need to know that he might not be the same Joe Burrow for a couple weeks, right? He might not be the guy putting up 20 to 25 points a week. He might, need a couple weeks to really regain his step. I would have taken Tom Brady over him. I would have taken Matthew Stafford over him.
Right.
So, yeah, just be a little bit wary there. I'm going to give it an A, just an A, because I think if you got a different quarterback, I would feel more secure in your team. But it's a good team. Real good team.
Cold World.
Last one here.
Cold World. Zeke, JJ, Josh Jacobs, James Conner. I mean, there's only 3 running backs here, technically 2. James Conner is nothing in our opinion. Could be a goal line back. Don't see much value there, but 2 running backs. Your running back depth is weak. Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans, T. Higgins, Will Fuller, Corey Davis, McCall Harmon, Marvin Jones. I think McCall Harmon, Marvin Jones, and Will Fuller, in my personal opinion, I think are kind of McCall Harmon, irrelevant. Marvin Jones, I think is good value at the 12. I don't see what value you're going to get out of him, so maybe it's not good value. Will Fuller, too early. You could have taken people over him. Marquise, Bateman, a Pittman, Rondell Moore, Elijah Moore, you could have taken over Will Fuller. So I wouldn't have taken any of those guys. And then Dak Prescott and then Justin Fields you took with the last pick. I don't mind that if you want solidify your second quarterback there at the end. And then Logan Thomas, great value in the 10th pick there. So I don't mind it. I think lack depth in running back and the depth in your wide receiver room is weak. So I'll give it B minus, C plus ish.
Yeah, I agree. I would say like from pick 7 down is real. It's rough. It's rough. I mean, even the James Conner pick is rough.
Yeah. You could have had.
Damian Harris is still on the board. Jones is still on the board. and none of those wide receivers I want on my team. Logan Thomas is the only good pick after Dak Prescott. So yeah, that's why we mock people. Let's go back to our faces. I want to address the Amon-Ra St. Brown question. What are our thoughts on Amon-Ra St. Brown? We like Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's a guy that when we were scouting him coming out of USC, we both were really excited about him. There was a ton of wide receivers that were taken before Amon-Ra St. Brown, and we were super surprised that they were taken before Amon-Ra St. Brown. And he is probably, other than Devonta Smith, Jamar Chase, he is probably the one wide receiver who has a very clear role as a rookie. Win the starting job, right? Like win the wide receiver one position on this team. He's competing with Tyrell Williams. He's competing with Brashad Perryman. So there's a very clear pathway for him to get targets. So yeah, we have a couple people saying thanks for the stream. Argos says, I gotta say I'm very grateful for the stream and videos. You guys are very quick on news, and I like your rankings a ton. Keep coming with the great content. By the way, if you want to unlock our rankings, I just put a link in the chat, patreon.com/fantasylandfan. If you copy and paste that link into any browser, you'll be able to find our Patreon. If you sign up to any tier to support us and what we do, you're going to unlock all of our rankings, rookie only, dynasty, redraft rankings. So don't be afraid to sign up, support the show there. It's also where you can get unlimited advice from us, personal replies all year round. You can play in a league with us. There's so many bonuses through Patreon, including our rankings.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Make sure you sign up for the Golden Ghost League as well. If you want to play fantasy football, if you want to do this for real with us, let us know. Go to patreon.com/fantasylandfam. Great way to, like Zach said, support the show, and a great way to play fantasy football with us.
Zach said, thanks for the stream, boys. See y'all Wednesday. I'm hoping for a dynasty startup, but excited for whatever. We can confirm it will be a dynasty startup mock draft on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people interested in that, and I think it's the right time to do it. So we will be having that.
Yeah.
Dexon said, who do you think got the better deal in the Matthew Stafford Jared Goff trade? I think it's pretty even value.
Yeah, it was pretty even. I think
because the Lions got, the picks. And not only did the Rams get Matthew Stafford, but they also got off of Jared Goff's contract somehow. So I think you have to say the Rams slightly, because normally the team that gets the best player normally wins the trade. First round picks can boom or bust, but Stafford's good. But I would say it's close, man. I think it's good value both ways.
We're really gonna find out who won that trade. I think we both can agree. We think that the Rams won it because of Matthew Stafford. They did get a lot of picks, but their team just elevates with a better quarterback, and Matthew Stafford is just talented. He was just on the Lions. He had no one around him to help him for a long time until Kenny G showed up. He had Calvin Johnson, and now he's going to a loaded team. With these wide receivers and this head coach. That's amazing. So
what's crazy is the conversation was man, there's just no way. The conversation was, there's no way the Rams are going to get off Jared Goff's contract.
Yeah.
That was the worst bit of business the Rams have done since Sean McVay, except for the Todd Gurley. You know what? Sean McVay's a great coach, but they made some really poor decisions as a team.
Mm-hmm.
The Todd Gurley contract, the Jared Goff contract, but somehow yet still, the Rams are a Super Bowl contending team. They really are.
Yeah. With
the roster they currently have. Dexon says, I think Penei Sewell is a bit overrated. I don't know, man. We are Penei Sewell fans here. I really feel like he's going to be a solid foundation for that offensive line for a decade. He's that kind of player. Super young, super talented. Oh, have we got Blaze on the stream?
Yeah, she's being a little terror here. She's trying to chew on some wires, and she's trying to do this. So
put her up to the camera so she can say hi to all the people.
I had her up earlier. You missed it.
This is Blazy.
Hey, Blazy.
Blazy. Say hi. So cute. I still need to meet her, bro. I need to come out. We'll do a stream together soon.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel the Lions will do a lot better this year because they actually have a real coach. Dan Campbell. Don't know much about him.
Yeah, bro. I think he's a coach. He's a player's coach, and a lot of people have been saying that. He's just a guy that like you just want to be around. Apparently, he hypes people up.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Rob Saleh.
Right.
You know, like he just changes the atmosphere. Once he's in the building, it's like, oh,
Didn't he come to a press conference with like a helmet on?
yeah, I saw that. I don't know what I didn't. You see, he's just fun. You know, like you don't want some stuck up coach. You know, I mean, like a Ron Rivera or something. You know, that's just dumb.
Hey, shut up. Yeah. Boy, hey, put some respect on his name. Ron Rivera this dude went through chemotherapy. He had cancer and still won the NFC East. Now, was the NFC East relatively easy to win? Probably. But put some respect on the boy's name, right? Like, I mean, I would probably still be out of commission if I went through chemo. All right, guys. We'll probably end the stream there. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you Wednesday. But also tomorrow, we're releasing a video on YouTube. I'm telling you, the most fire take tight ends you need to draft. Don't miss it. We'll see you on the next one. See you there.
See you there.